Hello, friends. If you're still feeling a bit confused about the pandemic or just need a new perspective to help you along, then this message is for you. It came through me powerfully, so I had to write it all down so I don't miss a thing to share with you for those who are ready. Don't blame the pandemic wrong and suffer unnecessarily. If the focus is on the number of deaths, then you may have lost sight of the bigger picture. The truth is, it is the shootings, the war between humans that have caused more deaths. This pandemic will not even come close to the catastrophe of discrimination, racism, abuse, or pain that humans inflict on each other, whether physically, mentally, emotionally. There's no greater virus than fear, and fear has been instilled by humans onto each other, whether by default or by intention, between communities, religions, governments, families, friends. It is this. This is more deadly than a pandemic. It is this that must stop. Sometimes to wake up, we need a wake-up call. This is a shake-up for us to wake up because we are on a cusp of a major awakening as a human race. We alone do not hold the power to gather enough dirt and launch it into space to create Earth. We did not place Earth in perfect proximity to the sun to create life. It is this life force. You can call it universe, source, higher power, God. This life force is precise and never makes a mistake. Life cannot evolve into more without what we humans call death. We have been conditioned to define death in a way that causes more grief, sorrow, suffering than it needs to. If only you remember that life is never ending. Life is about coming and going, birthing and deathing. When you remember this, you won't let others define death for you. To help you shift perspective, let's do the humaning thing for a moment and talk facts and numbers. Take a look at the death rate, even a few years back before what we humans call the COVID-19 pandemic. In 2018, for example, the worldwide death rate was at 108 deaths per minute. That's over 155,000 deaths per day, over 56 million that year alone. Why did we not make a big splash across the world about decreasing these numbers? Because it is really about choice, and we didn't choose to. Because we have been conditioned to attack something we're not familiar with, so the pandemic is a natural choice of focus for most humans, and that is okay. We need this shake-up to wake up. Every day there are deaths all around the world, just as there are births. If you do the math, the pandemic at this rate cannot even come close to putting a noticeable dent to the death rate we already had beforehand. But have you looked at our worldwide birth rate per minute? As soon as the death per minute happens, more than double that number come through birth. Always more coming, hence the abundance we get to experience in life. The population always growing to more each year, never less. This is a miracle worth focusing on. Yes, it is understandably so that most of us make death to be such a terrible thing only because we do not have that same vantage point as the larger life force. But you are a part of this larger life force. You can choose to shift perspective, expand your vantage point, readjust your focus when information of this nature is shared with you. And when you do, you line up with this life force and you become powerful. You become who you truly are. From the larger perspective, our birth and death rate are just like the ants we step on. Every day, countless numbers of creatures make their transition so more can rebirth. This is life. And so it is the same from that larger perspective looking down. We are just like insects coming and going, flowing with the larger life force to keep the planet evolving. It is not wrong or right. It just is. The truth about the death rate, humans cause more death than this pandemic can even come close to keeping up. In fact, this pandemic is keeping us from warring against each other. It is already saving more lives in this way. It is changing lives for the better. Because we have been forced to stay home, There's less crimes, less accidents, less humans trying to take over. So that worldwide death rate per minute has already decreased. That is a big number of lives saved each day, if you want to talk numbers. You have free will to choose your own perspective. I hope you choose one that serves you better, because at the end, life is all about perspective. There is no reality outside the one you perceive, the one you choose to believe. We suffer unnecessarily by our choice of focus. There are many things we can choose to focus on that will serve us better, but through negative conditioning by each other over time, most of us have lost sight of our power to choose where we focus our attention. We listen to others, we listen to gossip, the news, or what we call facts. Perhaps it is time to listen to your inner being, where your life force resides, where all your power resides, in here, not out there. Our life force offers a love that is non-judgmental. It's not about right, wrong, good, or bad. It's beyond that. Its loving nature is to maintain high frequency and restore balance. That is it. Sometimes it may not appear equal to us humans, but it is always fair. And what do I mean by fair? This pandemic could wipe us all out quicker, or even all at once, but it is not doing that. It could cause harm in bigger numbers, matching the worldwide death rate that already exists, but it is not doing that, not even close. It could lock us up so we actually can't even leave the house, but it is not doing that. Instead, it is encouraging safety and shelter, leaving us with more than just essentials, such as alcohol and cigarettes. Most of us are out for a walk, jog, walking the dog. We're left with Wi-Fi and Netflix. Is this so terrible for us to endure while our life force goes to work on restoring balance for us, cleaning up the bit of mess we made collectively over time? It is provoking our decision makers across the world to move in unison, dictating who remains in front line, who should stay home, who should stay out of the way, distribute the cash flow across where necessary, equal out the playing field. It is offering us exact distance to stand apart from one another for the time being. 2 meters, 6 feet, far apart enough to not fight, but close enough to practice non-judgment as we learn to observe, only to appreciate each other more. It is keeping all of us, especially the more destructive ones, indoors so we cannot start conflict or war. It is war between humans that kill faster, strips freedom and safety faster than the pandemic can blink. Are you getting a glimpse yet into how our life force works? It is loving you all the way. However, it is not the kind of love most can understand right now. And that is okay. It is hard for us spirits temporarily navigating in this limited human body to comprehend the depth of love from our life force, this higher energy. We have human love here on the physical plane, but that love is not offered from the same depth. So with that lack of true love experience, it can be hard for most to recognize this kind of love while it's happening. But rest assured, you will recognize it more and more at your own pace. This message is a gift for you to receive as you are ready. Do not make yourself be more receptive than you can be. Just be as receptive as you can be right now. Give yourself a break, and give everyone else a break too. This is a wonderful opportunity for a planetary reboot and restructuring of ideas and priorities. As much as most of you want things to go back to normal, our normal is not ever going to be the same. It is going to be so much better than you can imagine right now. If this message resonates with you even in some small way, you are already learning and evolving, positively adding to this planetary shift. Trust the process. This is all happening for you. Use this time wisely. This is your time to rest and reset. You need it. You deserve it. This is the message that came through me for us. For you, special souls. Thank you for joining me.